Alrighty, welcome back to the podcast, everybody. It has been a minute. I apologize. It's taking me so long to make another episode. I've just been so busy. Social media has just been taking off recently, which is amazing. It's been great. But I've been taking a lot of calls. I've been talking to a lot of people, helping them in their relationships, in their personal life, and all their, things that they need to work on. And people are reaching out for advice and stuff like that. So I've just been working with a lot of people, trying to do my best to help them all out. And it's been a lot. But here we are back. I wanted to talk about episode today. I usually save the podcast for when I have content that is taking off. And I want to go, I want to dive deeper in it. I want to go in depth on whatever it was I was talking about, because for whatever reason, somebody watches the content and I feel like it doesn't quite resonate. And that's fine. It's not supposed to resonate with everyone. But some of these topics that I talk about or I write about, these are big topics. These are big topics. They become massive conversations, which is good and bad. The good news is it becomes massive conversation, which is great because the world, it means the world's thinking, the world's communicating to a degree. Bad, because I think some of these conversations should probably not, I wish they weren't as popular. Some of my videos I wish would not go viral because it just means a lot of people have gone through a lot of problems. And that all starts with parenting, and we have to work together to raise a better generation, and to see any progress of what we talk about now takes 15, 20 years. So that's a different conversation. But what I wanted to talk about today, as I ramble on for the first 2 minutes, is this post I made about, when was this? This was, I actually don't know. It's less than a week ago, I would imagine. Is it cheating if my boyfriend likes another girl's pictures? This video kind of popped off for obvious reason. I think it's at 400,000 views right now. And the comments, similar to some of my other videos, is a bit of an onslaught between men and women arguing this point. Actually, I think this one is less separated between men and women, as some of my other posts have been. I think there are a lot of men on one side or on the same side, and a lot of men and women on the same side, kind of going back and forth. So it's not quite as separated as some other content. But I wanted to dive into this. So into the video, by the way, let me say this: if you are whether or not you agree, I'm not here to attack anyone. I'm just here to clarify my viewpoint, my perspective, and hopefully, give you a different perspective, a different way of thinking, or someone who does agree with me, who's trying to maybe convey their perspective better to their significant other or a partner or something along those lines. I hope I can word things in a way that helps you translate and digest some of this information, comprehend it a little bit better. So, is it cheating if my boyfriend likes another girl's pictures? I said if it is not friends, family, or contextually evident towards any reason other than being sexually attracted to them, then yes, absolutely that is cheating, and here's why. We are human. We are genetically designed to be objectively attracted to the opposite sex. That being said, a faithful, monogamous man does not openly celebrate his sexual tension towards any other woman than his own. Sexual tension is a muscle. It strengthens with whom you choose to train it with. Now, this kind of took off. The biggest argument I got was probably the most obvious one, which is it's just a picture. It's just a picture. It's just a like. And the more I think about this, the more it kind of blows my mind a little bit. So, if you're following someone, let's go back, because I worded this very, very carefully. if it is not friends or family, right? So if you're liking, your nephew or your sister posts a picture of her newborn niece, your newborn niece, her newborn daughter, whatever, that's fine. Obviously, you like those pictures. Duh. Come on now. So I said if it's not friends or family or contextually evident for any other reason than being sexually attracted to them. And by contextually evident, I mean, it is someone, a professional career. It is someone you support on a professional basis. Maybe you are business partners with somebody and she posts a picture and you like it because it's a good picture. Maybe she's going on vacation and you're proud of her because she earned that vacation. I don't fucking know. But you know what I mean. It's contextually evident. It's obvious. You're not liking the picture because you're like, ooh, I like what I see. No, you're liking the picture because you're supporting somebody. It's contextually evident. So that is different. But when you're following people because you're blatantly sexually attracted to them, this is where we get into the weeds. This is where it becomes a bit of a strange conversation. I think it is within the responsibility and within the ownership of your own relationship to identify where the weeds grow, right? You have to make a line for yourself. I'm going to tell you what I think, but at the end of the day, you need to decide what do you want? What are you expecting in a relationship? So many people settle for less. I'm going to tell you what I think, and I'm going to tell you why I think it, because I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not a super Christian, God-praising churchgoer. I need to be better. I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to get closer to God. But I will say this. I used to be a fuckboy. I used to be a bit of a man whore. I never cheated or did anything of that sort. I never crossed that line. I never will. But yeah, I was definitely engaged. I was involved in this type of provocative content. And so don't think I'm just shooting shit out my ass. Like I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Trust me, I get it. I get it from both sides. And I'm choosing to live on the side that I think is going to take me to the most amount of happiness, the most amount of love I can possibly get. And that is the side of you don't follow people like that. You don't like their photos, and you don't support, you don't praise them. That's the weird part about it. Is, if you're walking on the street and you see someone who's let's say you're a dude. You're walking down the street and you see a woman who's absolutely beautiful. And this was another argument I got, is like, you can't not be attracted to them. I get that, dude. I get that. That's why I said we're genetically coded to be objectively attracted to the opposite sex, meaning without connotation, without knowing who they are, we look at them and within half a fucking second, our brain goes yes or no. Just like that. Just like that. I get that. I'm not dumb. And that goes on both sides, men and women. Duh. Okay, now that we got that out of the way. This is my point. I said you do not openly celebrate. Let me say this again. You do not openly, publicly or vocally or, openly celebrate your sexual tension. Definition of celebrate: acknowledge, perform. You do not openly acknowledge or perform your sexual tension towards any other woman than your own. And people are looking at me like I'm fucking crazy. You see a gorgeous girl walking down the street. If you're in a relationship, you don't say hi. What the fuck are you doing? Oh, well, I'm just saying hi. Yeah, because you like the fucking brand of high heels she wears. You don't know what the fuck she's wearing. Come on, dude. Don't be fucking naive. Don't be so stupid. We know why you're saying hi. Come on, man. Come on. And I'm going to flip this back for a second because I bully the guys. I do. Mainly because I think we need to do better at taking ownership. Is what we're supposed to be doing. Is we're fucking men. We lead the relationship. We're not doing that. That's why I attack the guys more. Anyways, women, You post these photos and these videos and you go, oh, it's not for attention. It's for me. Okay, so take the picture and keep it in your camera roll. Why'd you post it? If it's for you, why'd you post it? My social security number is for me. I put it in a box and I keep it in my closet. I don't post it. The fuck? Come on, girl. What are you doing? So this conversation goes both ways. But before we get too far off topic, that being, I'm not saying, people post stuff to express themselves. I get that. But obviously, come on, we all know what we're talking about here. There's moments, there's lines. Girls, posting some shit wearing some crazy invitation. Come on. Don't, just stop. Anyways, so the idea is you don't openly celebrate it. And I think the best way I can kind of talk about this topic is to dive into, for a moment, this book, The Way of the Superior Man by David Deida, or David Deida, or Deida. I don't know how to say his last name. I think it's Deida. And he talks about it. He says, do you want to be the type of man that really risks building, you risk the stability of your household and the stability of your last name over the brief short-term gratification of cheating or sleeping with another woman, or creating causing adultery, whatever, cheating. And so he says, however, it is written within our code, our genome, or whatever you want to call it, that we are supposed to be attracted to the opposite sex, or we're supposed to be attracted to people. We look at them, we go, yes, no, whatever. That's primal. So what you do is you take that energy and you can appreciate it, but you appreciate it amongst yourself. When you see a woman who's beautiful on the street, you don't say hi. That doesn't mean you can't think to yourself, wow, I feel blessed for, being able to walk past this woman's presence for the brief 2 seconds that I did. Or I feel blessed that she could, give me this energy that has lit me up a little bit. I feel blessed that, such beauty and such art can be created, can be recreated, can exist within life. There is a sense of gratitude you can take from this type of experience. However, you do not openly celebrate it. If anything, you take it and you channel it back into your woman. Channel it back into your relationship. Say, man, I'm blessed that I had seen that. And you know what? I'm so fucking blessed that I get to go home and see it again. Come on, dude. Come on. You can appreciate that energy. That doesn't mean you have to openly celebrate it. Because like I said, you don't say hi. And that's what liking a photo is on social media. It's saying hi. You say, oh, wow. I saw this in my comment section over and over again. I have no intention of talking to her or doing anything with her. Then why the fuck did you like the photo? Well, I'm just trying to show my support. Why? What does that mean? What does that mean, show your support? You're following these bikini models, these playboys. You're liking their half-naked photos. You want to show your support. What the fuck does that mean? Thank you for making my dick hard. That's fucking weird, dude. That's fucking weird. You and your greasy ass fingers, like, oh man, fucking, I want her to know. I want her to know how much I appreciated that. What the fuck? Come on, dude. Be better than that, man. Be better than that. I'm sorry. That's the more I kept thinking about that, the more I'm like, that's just got to be so fucking weird. And these guys, like their girlfriends are in my comment section saying he swipes up and he'll send her messages saying, you're doing great or whatever. Like, that's fucking weird, dude. Why? And let me tell you this. They praise and they worship these people, these women on social media. They praise and they worship them, and then they come home and they say they're loyal to you. You don't think that if this woman happened to slide into his DMs, you think he's cutting her off? You think he's going to tell her no? He can't even help himself from following her. Nonetheless, sending a like and saying hi. I just want you to know how much I appreciate the way you made my disgustingness feel. That's weird, man. There's a different level of appreciation. It's a different energy, dude. It's a different energy, but you got to train it. This is why porn is so bad. Because it fucks with the way you're supposed to comprehend this type of shit, man. It no longer becomes spiritual, we're a mechanical being, but God, I mean, sex is the creation of life. It is supposed to be sacred. There ain't nothing sacred about that, dude. There ain't nothing sacred about that. Matter of fact, a lot of women that are in that industry, I don't even know if they feel good doing it. I think a lot of them have been misled. I will, you know what? This is going to be a different conversation for a different podcast, for a video that I got coming out soon. It's probably going to stir up some shit, but I'm going to answer the question, is it okay for women to post sexual content? Right? We've been dogging all the guys for supporting it. What about the women that create it? That'll be a different conversation for a different podcast. But I will say this. I spoke to someone recently who was in that type of industry. Very, I don't know what you would call it. It wasn't like some, random fucking OnlyFans. I don't fucking know. But it's professional, okay? Professional in that sort of industry, whatever. Reached out to me about her struggles. And I'm going to keep this completely private. But I get a lot of women like that reach out to me with problems. And one of the things I heard was it's hard to find a man strong enough. Because this was one of the questions I had asked was actually, I asked her, I was like, if you don't mind me asking, how do you manage to navigate a monogamous relationship with the career that you chose? And she said, she was very transparent about it. And I really, really appreciated that. She was very open and transparent about the whole thing. But one of the things she had said was it's hard to find a man strong enough to handle it. It's hard to find a man who doesn't get jealous or get insecure. And it was funny the way she worded the first part. I was like, find a man strong enough to handle it. And I was like, I'm sorry, but a man that's with you, I wouldn't find him strong at all. In fact, any strong man wouldn't be with you. There's too much shame in having to share such depth of your sexuality with the rest of the world. That should be saved for him. And a strong man, a man of value, wants what he deserves, which is all of you, not some of you, all of you. And so I responded and I said, with all due respect, I don't know if the question is finding a man strong enough to handle it. I think it's finding a man weak enough to tolerate it. And that kind of dawned on her for a second. And she was like, that would make sense with all the problems I've been going through, is I keep finding all these weak men. And I'm like, yeah. Strong men that know what they want, men that get what they want, men that can create and provide and step into that role of masculinity. They're not going to choose you. Not in a world of monogamy. And it's just something to think about. Because, and I'll get into this more, but I say this all the time. You cannot sacrifice the sanctity of your sex without also sacrificing the depth of spirituality that you can give to a relationship. You just can't. You can't. Not in a faithful monogamy, a true monogamy. It's just a different type of love, honestly. It's a different type of love. And that's coming from somebody who's had to put in a lot of work to finally recognize sex as being something that could be meaningful and could be spiritual. It took a lot of work to get all that toxic shit and brainwashing out of my head. And let me say that too for the men that are listening to this right now, because I get a lot of these too. Men that are afraid to ask their woman to stop posting this content. If she loves you and you ask and you mean it and you tell her, hey, I want this relationship between you and me to be sacred. I want this to mean something. I want this to have depth. If she's the woman you want, she's going to say, okay. She's going to say, you're right. And you have to ask yourself, if she refuses to stop doing what she's doing, or she calls you jealous, or she calls you insecure. I mean, of course you're fucking insecure. Why wouldn't you be? That's the part that blows me. And that's such a, that it's just, society's just fucked us all up. We've brainwashed this idea that for men to stop their woman from exploiting themselves for the sexual gratification of people they don't even know, for monetary or whatever value, for men not to be okay with their significant other doing that automatically makes them insecure and jealous. We treat that like it's a bad thing. I would be more concerned that I'm doing something that makes my partner feel insecure. I love them. I would never want them to feel insecure. I would do everything I can to stabilize them. But instead, you say it's your fault. I make you feel insecure. I don't get it. We got a lot of work to do, but that's diving into a conversation I want to have in a different podcast. Point being, to kind of tie this back in. For all the men out there, know what you want, figure out what you want, and ask yourself, is this the woman you want for the rest of your life? And for all the women out there that have men that constantly, openly celebrate their sexual attention towards other women, you got to ask yourself, is this the type of man you want for the rest of your life? I'm telling y'all deserve love, all right? That is our God-given right. You deserve love, and I know it seems hard. I know it seems rare. But I promise you, there are people listening to this podcast right now. There is someone on the other side of this podcast right now that is looking for you as much as you are looking for them. You will find what you deserve. Be patient. Stay close to God. That's something I'm working on. But I hope this helps out, and I hope this kind of clears up the ideas a little bit. There wasn't a whole lot to talk about. You know, like I said, I think I worded the response to that question very clearly. But I'll catch y'all in the next episode. Thank you for listening, and I hope this helped. Much love. Talk to y'all in the next one.